He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
And welcome to the Consumer Quarterback Show, always helping you live a better life and being that consumer advocate for you, making you more street smart here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We got Robert Paredes in the house, Fluxx Funding, and he is our expert contributor for all things mortgage and finance. And we're going to dive deep today into some of the different options to kind of create a competitive advantage on the buy side of these real estate transactions. There's a lot to talk about coming up here with Robert from Fluxx Funding on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Plus, we always like to feature our real estate listings. My wife Lindsay and I own a top 100 ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay, and we help sellers sell faster for more money. And I'm a listing expert. We are focused on the listing side as well in this low inventory market that we have. You know, it's interesting, we still have low inventory. There is about a 1.2 month supply, and all the local counties are very similar. So 1.2 month supply of inventory. So when you hear that, what that means is that if no new properties came on the market, we would sell out of all the active inventory, and we're talking about residential specifically here, in 1.2 months. So it's still a great market, but on the flip side, there's also a smaller buyer pool right now. So we're going to dive deep into that with Robert Paredes, Fluxx Funding, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, it's a couple of hot listings here. We got a mansion for sale in Lutz. This is 3704 Burger Road in Lutz, Florida. This is an estate-style, large lot, beautiful property here. You got 10,000 square feet living square footage, 10 bedrooms, 12 baths. You got no CDD or HOA. Indoor pool with a full bar and an oversized deck. Full tennis court, library, movie theater, sauna, 2 master suites, grand balcony, 5-car garage, and more. Just a beautiful property. And check out the photography compliments of the Braid frameworks. Look at that pool area and just think about the fun birthday parties and events that you could throw there at 3704 Burger Road in Lutz, Florida. And that is, of course, Hillsborough County, northern Hillsborough County. We've got another beautiful property here at 605 Monterey Avenue. This one is in Clearwater area, and it's a gorgeous home. We just did a major price reduction as well, so it's priced to sell. 605 Monterey Avenue, Clearwater, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2163 square feet. You got a non-evacuation, non-flood zone, centralized showing area in Clearwater, and a beautiful home here. I just love when you walk through and you got that backyard patio with the screened-in pool and the pavers. Just a gorgeous look there. Updated on the interior, of course, granite countertops and beautiful, beautiful cabinetry and flooring. Great opportunity at 605 Monterey Avenue in Clearwater, Florida. And you can see all of our real estate listings online at PlatinumCoastalElite.com. That's PlatinumCoastalElite.com. And let's give a quick shout out to InnovativeSolarFL.com. InnovativeSolarFL.com. Let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. You know, they have great options for homeowners, commercial business owners. The price of solar has come down as well. So pricing has improved. Technology always improves. So InnovativeSolarFL.com. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. All right, welcome back, Robert. Good to see you, man.
Hey, how are you, Brandon? How are
Excellent. You? Yep, absolutely. Good to see you. Posts 911 Veterans Nonprofit Organization. I like that shirt.
Yeah, you know what? I was going to ask you if it's okay for me to just do a quick shameless plug about the organization. We actually have an event for June 24th. It's our casino night, and we're a little bit behind on some ticket sales. But want to do a shout out. This Post 911 Veterans, actually, it's a 100% nonprofit organization. That means nobody gets paid.
Oh wow!
So pretty much almost all the money that we raise, less any the cost to do the event, go all to the vets as well. So anything that you can do to kind of plug it a little bit. And I don't know if you're going to need a link for it. Yeah. And so I'm the treasurer there as well. So I do have to push it as quickly as possible. Because if not, then I got to cut a bigger check. So. Yeah,
exactly. So we got an event coming up, folks, supporting the veterans. This is on June 24th. Ticket sales are open, and it's going to help all veterans out there. And it's not one of these, and that's the thing with nonprofit organizations.
Yeah.
Sometimes you look at the CEO making $180,000,
And that's cheap.
or whatever it might be. Exactly.
You missed the zero.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's a nonprofit. What does that mean? Oh, well, we don't pull any profit, so all we do is increase the salaries every year
Correct.
for all of our top, CEO, COO, whatever it might be. But talk to me about this event. What's going on this event?
We're actually having it. We're actually having it the fire museum, the fire.
Oh yeah,
downtown. I think it's.
I've been there.
You've
We
been there?
had an event with Ken Shamrock there one time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never been there
The
before.
fire museum. I think he calls it Engine 52 or
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so. We're about almost the capacity with the tickets, but we can always use some more. And we do have some sponsorship available. And I think that the top sponsor is only $1,000. So there's opportunity there as well. Very inexpensive. And the reason why we're able to do those sponsorships so low is because, again, like to your point, nobody gets paid. All of it goes to the veterans as well.
Yeah, exactly. So reach out to consumerqb.com. Go to our website. There's an email form. You just submit the form. It comes right through to me. Consumerqb.com. Just say you heard Robert talking about the event supporting the veterans and post 911 veterans nonprofit organization event coming up on the 24th. All right, let's jump into the market. What's happening? What are you seeing on your side?
Man, interesting. For the last time I saw you, actually, the rates have ticked up a little bit.
Yep.
And to your point, you make. There are borrowers that are kind of holding off a little bit and wait and see attitude by the end of the year and so on. But again, at the end of the day, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
Renting sucks no matter what happens. I don't care how much the rate is or whatever, because you can always refinance if it goes down.
Yeah.
When it goes down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's still did you say 1.2 months on inventory? That's still low.
That's right. Super low inventory, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, it's gone up a little bit, but there's still opportunities out there as well. Like I said, I've got about 40 or 50 clients. I still can't find anything around that. Anything below $450,000, it's still a battle out there.
Yeah. Very
But
competitive.
very competitive. But to your point, just gotta pick the right realtor, right? Just such as yourself.
It's
and your
competitive
team.
for both sides too, Robert. Think about it. So if a seller has a home that's maybe not updated to a certain way, or maybe they updated it with really dark, settings, and people aren't into dark anymore. They want the lighter color,
Right.
They want the lighter color, accents, and so it's competitive on both sides, which is interesting.
It is, right?
Yeah.
It's usually just one or the other.
Yeah.
So, but it's it's, of course, with the debt ceiling, what's going to happen. So I usually can predict what the rates are going to be, but I have no idea. So the best thing to do, what I'm telling my clients right now, is that if you like the rate today, you better lock in.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you're familiar with this, but if the rates go down by more than 0.5% while you're getting your loan process, you can actually see if you can renegotiate it down.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
if you lock the rate today, you're always protected going high. But if it goes down low enough, you might be able to renegotiate to a lower rate.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So that's
not a lot
something-
of people don't know about that.
Yeah, that's something that you offer exclusively through Fluxx Funding.
Yeah, most of your brokers out there, to be quite frank, can do that, because since we're brokers, we have different investors that we can pull and figure out what the rate is. For instance, if I send it to investor one and they don't want to renegotiate a lower rate, well, I can always pull that file and bring it to investor two,
Yep.
and we still have plenty of time to close, because if you're a broker, you can close much faster.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And that's a great dynamic to have. Also, I mean, I think that's a key point when you look at, because a lot of times, let's go back to the homeowner mentality, right?
Right.
The home buyer mentality, prospective buyer. A lot of times they don't understand these different idiosyncrasies of the systems and the programs. Can you explain a little bit about that dynamic, how you're able to shop, and then, like you mentioned, the advantages there with the locking?
Yeah, like I always try to explain it as if you're trying to get home insurance. So let's say, for instance, if you're trying to get, let's say, car insurance,
Yep.
okay? You can get car insurance with the big companies such as Progressive, State Farm, Farmers, Geico, whatever, right? But when you go with them, it's one product that they sell and that's it.
Right.
But if you go to an independent insurance agent, he has or she has 20, 30, 40 different types of insurance companies that he or she can shop it around to get you the best deal. Kind of like the same with me as a mortgage broker. I have different investor who's going for my business, and whoever gives me the best terms and the quick turn times and gives the best service,
Right.
that's who I give my business to. So it's always competitive, and
Yeah.
competition's good, right?
That's right. Service, speed, simplicity. That's what I used to sell when I was with the Argent Mortgage.
You were with Argent?
I was with Argent back in the day.
Were you with Argent?
Yeah.
I was with Decision One, man, back in the day.
Okay, that's right. D1, yeah.
Oh,
I think Johnny was our rep, Baldino.
Johnny and I have known each other for a while, man.
Yeah, that's funny. Small world. When you get into the mortgage industry, man, it's like it's definitely a small ecosystem.
God, I used to send when I was a broker, I used to send a ton Argent.
Quick, fast and good rates, and it was. And then of course we sponsored Danica Patrick and Buddy Rice.
Yes, you did.
Different races, and that was pretty cool. But if you just joined us, folks, we're talking with Robert Paredes, Fluxx Funding. He's a local lender here. Again, we talk a lot about supporting the local economy on our show, and we greatly appreciate everybody that reaches out to our show hotline, 727-263-3707. You can call or text that line, 727-263-3707. And any questions you have, real estate related or outside of that, we've got 80 different categories of consumer advocates. We've got great attorneys associated with the show, CPA, financial advisors, great home service providers, self-defense experts, boating and luxury yachting, private pilot industry. I mean, we covered the full gamut here, and it's really a pride of mine that we've diversified our show over the years to the consumer quarterback show. We have doctors on the program. Last week, we had a couple great doctors. 727-263-3707. That's the number to save in your phone. Just pull out your smartphone, save that number, because at some point you may need some type of a consumer advocate here, and that's what we do locally. And, for example, Wells Fargo pay $1 billion settlement to shareholder lawsuit, becoming one of the 6th largest security class action settlements of the last 10 years. This 2016 scandal involving fake accounts, misleading shareholders. That's the stuff you want to stay away from. You don't want to support the big banks, Robert, and they almost all do it.
Wells Fargo, the gift that keeps on giving, man. I tell you, I used to be a banker before I became a mortgage broker at a pretty big regional bank, and that was always the biggest issue is that, and I have to say allegedly in all this, right?
Allegedly, right.
Allegedly in all this. Is
exactly.
That, there were always pressure into cross-selling a lot of different things, and so many that you can cross-sell. So they would open up different crazy accounts that never existed or whatever. It's just allegedly
because they got paid.
Because they got paid, or or they get to keep their job. They don't care about getting paid; it's just to keep their job. It's
right.
You could listen. I was in banking. You couldn't pay me enough money to be in retail, and I know a lot of my banking peeps out there know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly. That's true, man. And you look at it like I remember I went from one company in Tampa Bay to H&R Block Mortgage, and it was similar because we had, hey, we got this tax relationship for you. Why don't you trust us with your mortgage? Similar cross-sell.
Right.
But yeah, we're talking with Robert Paredes, one of the best in the industry. I've known him for a long time, and definitely had a respect there for him in the industry a long time. Fluxx Funding, and so again, supporting the local economy is key. Let's talk about these 2-1 buy downs. What is a 2-1 buy down, and why do people care? Why are they doing that?
And it should. I think you guys are gonna put it up on the screen anyway, so I'm just going by it. So a 2-1 buy down. The easiest way to explain it is that, as you know, in the last year the rates have pretty much doubled, right? And so there was a payment shock. So let's say, for instance, I'm just going to use $1,000 for either. So when you're buying a house, with a 3.5-3% interest rate, your payments with $1,000. Now it's $2,000. Right. And so the issue about that is just sticker shock.
Yep.
And so the way the 2-1 buy down does is that it allows you to actually cut your payments quite substantially the first year and the second year. The reason why it's called a 2-1 buy down is because, let's say today's interest rate's at 6.75, right? So the 2-1 buy down your first year, instead of 6.75, is actually 2% lower, which is 4.75. So you could be saving $300, $400, $500, sometimes even $800 a month for your first year.
Yeah.
And in the second year, it's 1% lower than what the rate that you locked in initially. So if you locked it at 6.75, your second year's at 5.75. Maybe instead of saving $700 a month, you might be saving $400. But that's still quite a bit.
Right.
And so the idea is that if you have the seller pay for the closing costs, especially, I think your second property, you had it price reduction as well, right?
That's
price
right.
Improvement.
Yes.
So if the value is going to come in where it needs to be, instead of giving that that price reduction, you could do a seller concession.
Yep.
Everybody walks the same amount, right? Everybody wins, and you can use those seller concessions to actually use that 2-1 buy down.
Right.
So the idea is, on the third year, it does go back up to that 6.75% interest rate. But the idea is that within 2 years or even a year, the rates have gone down to where you can refinance off that higher interest rate.
Yeah.
So everybody wins.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a win because now you're getting into the home. You're able to have a competitive rate, and that's taking away that shock from that buyer. And the seller's okay with it because, hey, they're still netting the same thing if you know, a lot of times you build it into the rate. We're going to take a quick break there. More with Robert Paredes on the flip side here coming back. We're going to talk about Hometown Heroes and some of these other down payment assistance programs out there. There's a lot of programs that you don't really know about, and we're going to explain those coming up as well. VA loans, condos, and self-employed borrowers. How can we get them qualified for the best loans and programs? Well, Robert Paredes is going to talk to us with that. Fluxx Funding here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And make sure you follow us online. We'd love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes1, at CQB Show. And, of course, on YouTube, we've got Brandon Rhymes Realty, over 2,000 videos now on our YouTube channel. So check us out online. We'd love to connect with you and follow you back as well. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, everybody, it's the captain, Matt Bruce, and you're listening to my buddy, Brandon Rhymes, a consumer quarterback. Sell, Brandon, sell.
Cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We had an uptick in calls last week. I greatly appreciate those that are reaching out and supporting the program, supporting our local area business owners and expert contributors, celebrating 10 years on air now with the Consumer Quarterback Show. So we greatly appreciate everybody that supports the program, supports the show, and all of our expert contributors, all the great people that we've assembled and we've vetted along with this show. So we really, it means the world to us when you call us up and you support the show. 727-263-3707, 263-3707 at CQB Show online as well. We got a couple of hot listings here in Tampa Bay. I want to let you know about a property that we've got here on, let's see, this one will be 14 Baywood Drive. So this is in Palm Harbor, 14 Baywood Drive, Palm Harbor. We've got a beautiful property here. This is a nice home. You also have access to the bay, to the Gulf of Mexico, private boat ramp and boat dock here. Community boat ramp, that is, at 14 Baywood Drive. 2913 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, completely remodeled 3-story home. Wood-burning fireplace in the living room, and you got those high vaulted ceilings. Gorgeous property here. Pool and screened-in back porch, and just a great opportunity. Waterfront community. You can go fishing and live that Florida lifestyle that a lot of people love here in Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region of Florida. And we also have a property at 3413 Lake Palermo Road in Waimama. This is another estate-style home with a pool, large lot, completely updated and just a beautiful home here on Lake Palermo Road in Waimama. 3734 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, Mediterranean-style home located in a gated community, open concept gourmet kitchen. You also have a wraparound patio with a private pool, hot tub, and an outdoor kitchen. 3413 Lake Palermo Road in Waimama. And you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, so we got Robert in studio, Robert Paredes, and we're talking about mortgages and rates. And you know, the big news also this week has been this debt issue as well. Just a couple of quick quotes here. Yellen maintained that while the exact so-called X date remains unknown, she believes it's highly likely that the nation will run out of its cash debt obligations to pay its debt obligations by June 1st. These estimates are based on current data with federal receipts, outlays, and debts could vary from these. Basically, what I equate this to is like this game of chess, but it's also a scare tactic for the American people, right? It's like, oh, we got to try to push. You know, each side's going to push back on certain things, but you know, we need spending cuts. We had $6 trillion of money that's put us in this position, and it's, you know, unfortunately, it's the uniparty, it's both parties, and it's the political class, the elites. But spending cuts, and then also what's wrong with work requirements? You know, people are going to be, you know, taking the government handouts. You know, at some point, hey, are you trying to get work? And I was talking to somebody about this. I had a listing I took the other day. You know, hardworking people. I mean, they own the barbershop, I think it was, and you know, we're talking about it, and it's like, hey, I get people come in here all the time. Hey, will you just sign this for me and say I asked you for a job? that's the kind of stuff that happens with these programs. So it's frustrating. But anyways, Robert Paredes back in studio, Fluxx Funding here.
How are you?
Yeah. So that's interesting.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. Again, I think the folks who really know me personally, with this country, the greatest country ever, right?
Yeah.
With a little bit of hard work, a little bit of good luck, you can be whoever you want to be. You can be as successful or not successful as you want to be.
That's right.
So there's nothing wrong with working a little. You know what I mean?
That's right, man. Absolutely.
So don't even get me started.
Work ethic and the American dream. I mean, you look at, the dream that, people can make, man.
Yeah, I'm not that smart, so I figured I'd work here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what people do, man, especially when, with your military background, sports background. A lot of us, have that sports background.
Yeah.
And, Alex with his martial arts background, it's like, hey, it's discipline. It's like the good old values from the 80s, right?
What's wrong
80s
with
and
that?
90s. Yeah. Get ahead in the game. So let's jump into this. So you got the Hometown Heroes program and some other down payment assistance programs.
Yes. So the update on the Hometown Heroes, for those of you who don't know, that's the down payment assistance for your first responders and, for instance, your firefighters, your military, your veterans, your nurses, anybody in the medical field as well. Your EMTs and so on. So you can get up to 5% or $25,000 to help with your down payment. Now, come July 1st, the governor did pass to up it a little bit to $35,000.
Nice.
So, because there was I don't know how much he put, but I think it was $710 million back into the system to try to help for first-time home buyers as well.
Yeah.
There's some other information coming out, but I'm still unclear. I'm getting mixed information. I have to check with the state to see what this is, but they're saying sometimes now that you might get down payment assistance, and it doesn't matter what type of job you do as long as you're a first-time home buyer. And as you know, you're flagged as a first-time home buyer if you haven't owned a home or in any type of a deed for the last 3 years. So
that's great. Yeah, we need more of those programs. I mean, those are awesome. Those are government programs that I can get behind.
Exactly.
Let's help increase home ownership, especially when you had unprecedented amount of corporate buying, institutional buying these last few years. And it's slated to be by the year 2030, it's supposed to be up to 40% of institutional buyers buying up single-family homes, townhomes, and condos.
Yeah, and now that Hometown Heroes program, the cool thing about it is that while you're in the house, you don't refinance or sell the home. It's a 0 monthly payment. So you could borrow from July 1st. You can get assistance up to $35,000, and there's no mortgage payment on that.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Robert Paredes, Fluxx Funding, Consumer Quarterback Show. We're going to take a quick break. More with Robert on the flip side of this. We're going to get into a little bit more about the veteran loans, condos, and then self-employed borrowers. And we got another segment coming up with Robert Paredes, Fluxx Funding, here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check us out online, consumerqb.com. And, of course, we're right here, 4 o'clock drive time, 860 The Answer. We do have a weekend show, FM 102.5 The Bone, Sunday mornings. We'll be right back. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here in studio with Robert Paredes. Fluxx Funding coming up here in just a moment. We're going to talk about VA loans, condos, and then self-employed borrowers. But before we do, a couple of hot listings here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We always like to feature our real estate properties in ways that other real estate companies don't. And we got a hot listing here at 3331 Gardenia Drive. This is in Hernando Beach. This is a waterfront home on the canal, deep water access. You can go fishing in minutes out in the Gulf of Mexico. 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, 4,500 square feet, split floor plan. You got bamboo flooring, vaulted ceilings, gorgeous spiral staircase. It's a 2-story screen lanai pool with a balcony as well, overlooking the canal. Gorgeous property. And up there you have the wider canals. It's really, these canals up there are very wide. 3331 Gardenia Drive, Hernando Beach, one of our hot real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team. Keller Williams Realty. 1128 Trellis Avenue. Another one of our listings here in Tampa Bay. Trellis Avenue is one of our co-listings from our team. By the way, we are hiring on our team, so if you're an agent out there or looking to get into the real estate game, we can kind of take you through. We can coach you in that space. But my wife and I own a Livian Coastal Elite. It's platinumcoastalelite.com because we have the Platinum MVP team. Also now branded as the Coastal Elite, Platinum Coastal Elite.com. But this property on Trellis Avenue in Spring Hill, it's another gorgeous listing of ours. You've got stainless steel kitchen there, beautiful property, airy floor plan, screened-in pool, large private backyard to store your boat and RV, generous-sized bedrooms as well. 1128 Trellis Avenue, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,700 square feet, just shy of 1,700 square feet. Screened-in pool, beautiful property, no backyard neighbor. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, Robert, let's jump into it. VA loans. Talk to us about some VAs. They're going up to $4 million now?
Yeah, actually, it has been up to $4 million, but again, most of your banks and lenders can only go up to $1.5 million, $2 million. But since I'm a broker, I do have an investor that can go up to $4 million. And if you are a veteran and you want that water access, that last listing that you had, $4 million with no money down, man, and the interest rate as of yesterday is 6.5%.
Nice.
And since I did quote a rate, I have to give my NMLS
there
number.
You go.
Right?
Let's do it.
We'll want to make sure I don't go to jail or anything, but my NMLS number, Robert Paredes, 437134.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's make sure we stay out of trouble. So let's go to condos then, because condos are kind of an interesting animal right now because of the some of the Surfside stuff going on.
Right. Yeah. So the biggest issue that I'm seeing right now with condos is not so much that it's under budgeted, but they did add an extra 1 to 2 questions about for the HOA or the property manager. Say, do you attest that the building or the condo project is safe and sound? And many of the board of directors and some of the HOA managers are not answering that question. So if they don't do that, then that means you can't get conventional financing.
Right.
So you got to pay cash. However, since I'm a mortgage broker, I do have one lender. It's a pretty big lender that if you put 25% down and it's your primary home, there is no condo questionnaire needed, as long as if the appraiser goes out there and there isn't any type of health and hazard issue, then no questions asked. You can get conventional financing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And condos now, what about FHA? You got FHA financing.
Okay, so here's the biggest misconception about FHA. There's not very many FHA condos out there approved.
Eligible, right.
Correct.
Yep.
However, not most loans, but you've got some loan officers who know to do what we call a spot approval. What that means is that if the budget's correct and you have 51% of all the units there as primary, you could do a one-off approval for an FHA loan. It's a little bit more tedious, but you're going to need an expert loan officer to do all that because there's a lot of moving parts.
Right.
And of course, I've done plenty of those before.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
I'm actually getting FHA done on condos as well. It's a bit more tedious, but you can get it done.
Very cool. Now, some of the biggest problems come up when you have self-employed borrowers versus W-2 borrowers also.
Yeah, you can't prove your income, right? You make a ton of money, but you write everything off. You've got great credit. You've got 20% down or whatever. I specialize actually in your self-employed borrowers that you can't prove your income. No tax returns needed. All you got to do is give me your 12 months worth of bank statements, and whatever that average is, that's the income we use.
Makes sense.
And if you don't have bank statements to show that as well, we can just do a quick 20% down, depending on your credit. No income, no nothing. Just prove that you have the 20% down in some assets.
Yeah.
And you've got a loan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's Robert Paredes. I'm Brandon Rhymes, and we're talking real estate here, Tampa Bay real estate, Gulf Coast region of Florida. Lots of great loan programs out there, Robert, and the misconceptions come into be it's still around down payment, right? A lot of times that's your misconception.
The misconception that you got to have 800 credit scores and 20%, and that's just not the case.
Yeah.
Just not the case.
Yeah, exactly.
But it starts with a conversation, right?
That's right.
If you reach out to me, doesn't cost anything to just have a conversation, and each borrower is different. And if it can be done, I can get it done. Definitely.
And you also have an event coming up. Let's plug that event. Robert, you're a veteran as well.
Yes, thank you.
And thank you for your service as well. You got June 24th. We got an event coming up for the veterans. This is a nonprofit organization.
Yes, it's a nonprofit organization. Nobody gets paid, so our expense ratio is very low. It's a casino night, and it's the theme's 20, the Roaring 20. So it's going to be fun for dress up, definitely. So
yeah,
tickets
awesome.
are very inexpensive, and also we have some sponsorship opportunities as well that's not going to break the bank. So anything at all to spread the word and to get some people over there, much appreciated.
And that's just outside of downtown Tampa there at the Firehouse.
Correct. Yeah, the Firehouse Museum. What do we want to call it? Yeah.
Yep, that's cool.
Yep.
Awesome, good stuff. And how do you like people to connect with you? What's the best way?
I have my cell phone, right? 813 300-7218, or you can just email me at robert@Fluxx, that's Fluxx funding.com, and I'm available anytime, including weekends. So thank you so much.
At fluxfunding.com, Fluxx funding.com. And then what's your number, direct dial again?
Yes, 813-300-7218.
All right, good deal. And consumerqb.com as well as kind of your catch-all for everything with the show, consumerqb.com. There's an email form. You can see videos of Robert there. And Robert, thanks again. Appreciate it. Always great information.
Brandon, thanks for having me. Much appreciated.
My pleasure. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with Sam McCown. He's an executive coach here in Tampa Bay. Alive and at Peace Coaching with Sam McCown coming up on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Check us out online at consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.